I am Ben Myers, dialing in from Yorkshire, England, about The Offing, which is my novel on Third Man Books. Dulcie took a claw and twisted it away from the body of the lobster, which was now a deep burnt orange in colour, steam plumes rising from the fissures where its limbs joined its body. It looked almost like a toy, a macabre stage prop. Here she paused and looked me up and down. She shook her head. "You're going to have to loosen up, you know, Robert. Look at you. You're stiff as a lighthouse keeper's prick. At ease, soldier." She then gently but deftly pulled back the smaller jaw of the pincer until it broke away, revealing a cuticle-shaped crescent of pure white flesh. She dipped this twice in the garlic butter and then tipped it to her mouth, pulling the meat from the shell. Then she folded a piece of bread into her mouth after it, chased it with a gulp of wine, and took the nutcracker back from me and used it to crack the main claw, carefully picking off 2 or 3 tiny flecks of the broken shell. A hunk of flesh fell onto the plate. She skewered some garlic leaves, then split the claw meat with the edge of her fork and twice dipped the whole lot into the butter again, and then ate it, chewing noisily and making a sound of satisfaction. "Food of the gods," she said through a mouthful, as a stray piece of green garlic leaf worked its way out of her mouth, hung there for a moment, and then fell to the table. Dulcie smacked her lips, smiled, and picked up more bread. "Dig in, Robert, before it makes a break for it." I followed her lead and managed to extract the warm flesh from the lobster that just that morning, as I was walking and stretching in the shadow of hedgerow, damp and stiff and cursing the dawn chorus, had been ambling along the seabed somewhere out there, where the rising sun refracted in the upper reaches and all life danced its warming rays. I dipped it into the melted butter that was the colour of egg yolk and just as creamy, and then held the piece of lobster there in my mouth. I didn't even have to chew. It collapsed into a soft paste with only the faintest hint of the sea behind it. Never had I tasted anything fresher. The kippers that my mother reluctantly fried for my dad on a Friday were old leathery things in comparison, like the inner sole of a pitman's boot, the scent of the smokehouse lingering all weekend long. Next we ate the meat from the knuckles on hunks of bread topped with garlic leaves and double dipped again. "The wine," she said. "Robert, you haven't touched your wine." I took another sip and let it wash around my mouth. It was still too tart for my liking, but the salted aftertaste of the butter seemed to take the sickle-sharp edge off it. "We saved the best bit for last," she said. Dulcie took the lobster from her plate in both hands, and in one move she bent the nail up from the body, pulled back the tail and separated it. A large thick thumb of meat extended, shucked from the curved shell like a creature peeking from a hole. "Look," she said. "See that greenish paste inside? That's the liver, good in soups or sauces. We can eat that too. Those that have a red coral-like matter inside are female. That's the roe. Also edible, but this is a male. We just need to remove this thing." Here she pulled out a long stringy vein which she cast aside into the garden and said, "For the birds or the beasts, or Butler, my dog." I followed suit and discovered the meat from the tail to be even sweeter. We ate more bread and more garlic butter and finished off a rough salad. Dulcie poured more wine and we sat in silence.